Hi there. So this next video is continuing this series of progressions of handstand work. You can see here that there's a box taped onto the ground. This is based on CrossFit Open, the CrossFit Games Open standards. Just because the box is on the ground doesn't mean you need to use the whole box. We've gone over hand positioning to ensure we get proper force mechanisms playing a role. The only big difference is that the box allows us to potentially go wider, but again, it may interfere with our force mechanisms. By going wider, we have a shorter range of motion, so you can see how high my hands go. If I bring them into more of an optimal position, yes, I have more distance to cover, but allows our muscles to work the way they should. So unless you're a high-level competitor, I would highly suggest you stick with more of this type of hand positioning that we've gone over in other videos. With all that being said, I'm going to kick up into a handstand against the wall here. If you're going to do this at home, make sure the wall is very solid. I have a piece of OSB plywood that's been painted and mounted to the wall. So when I kick up, this is purposely put here to protect my drywall. Last thing I want to do is be responsible or liable for any holes in your drywall, because I'm not coming over to fix it. With all that being said, the first variation, I'm just going to kick up into a handstand. I'm going to look to have my hands in that right position. You're going to notice that my hands are probably halfway through the box or so to give me a good angle towards the wall. When I do so, I have my hands up ready to go. You can see that I'm in a split stance position. I'm then going to tilt forward, plant my hands, and bring my feet to the wall. A couple of big things is that I want to try and squeeze my hips into that hollow position and ensure that my butt's not resting up against the wall. If we do end up using this type of a skill in a competition setting, that's often the big thing, is that we want the hips off of the wall to meet movement standards. So that's important to practice right away. The second thing I'm going to do here now is kick into a headstand. So if you're someone that's really uncomfortable about landing on your head in a handstand push-up, this could be really beneficial to teach you how to get close to the wall, but also just be comfortable in the bottom of that position. If it helps, you can come along and you can set your hand position. You do want to ensure that you have an inch or two from the wall to where your head is about to go. So from here, I'm going to simulate into that type of split stance position. I'm going to then drop my head and kick up. I'll do that one again. It's really simple. Again, we set our hand position. We can double check to make sure it's all good. And then I'm going to lower the top of my head to the ground and kick up. So if we were to combine those two, then it just becomes a handstand push-up, a strict handstand push-up in this position. Ideally, we do have 3 to 5 strict handstand push-ups before we introduce any kipping, and you can comfortably hold a headstand position for at least a minute before we introduce any kipping work. It's a lot of load landing on our cervical spine, and that's not good if we're not ready for it. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Definitely talk to me before you do anything like this. Last thing I want to do is have any injuries come up as you're trying to get better at these movements. All right, good luck.